My name's Emmett, and I'm a golfer on the OPRF golf team. Well, the season just started a few weeks ago, but I've been golfing pretty much. Yeah, I've been golfing all summer.
All right. And is OPRF planning to do a full golfing season?
Yes, we are as of now.
And are you looking for any more students to join the team?
Yeah, I am. I mean, it's a very you can play it all your life. It's a good sport. You can play almost all year round, and yeah, you play till you're 90 years old if you wanted to.
Hey juniors! On Wednesday, September 9th, the school had a virtual college night to help you and your parents get more familiar with the college application process. They went over how to pick the right college for you, preparing for ACT and SAT testing, applying for financial aid and scholarships, navigating Naviance, and more. If you missed it, make sure to talk to your counselor about any questions you may have about the process and what you can do to be more proactive during this time, as well as virtual college fairs you can attend. And don't forget to check the announcements in your emails for college callers to find colleges you may be interested in attending.
OPRF has been undergoing the most significant renovations to its facilities in 50 years. The district has hired FGM architects to design the project. The renovation will include 76 general education classrooms, all gender restrooms, 3 new science labs, the daycare facilities, the library, the tutoring center, the south cafeteria, the general main entrance, as well as an ADA compliant restroom for the special education program and an ADA compliant elevator in the north end of the building. If you would like to know more about the project, visit oprfhs.org.
Hi, my name is Owen. I'm a musician or an artist, and I use FL Studio as my instrument. I can play the keyboard pretty well. Um, and the name of the album that I just put out is called Yugen, and it's a collection of all the new sounds that I've been experimenting with and new vocal melodies. I kind of want to try out with different flows and stuff. So it's more just an album I did for fun, but I did enjoy making it and I like how it turned out. So definitely check that out. And I'm hoping the audience will like a couple of the songs, of course, but also, I don't know, maybe get excited for what's to come, excited for the sound. If they like the vibe of that album, then hopefully they'll be ready for future stuff. And you can find the album on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, YouTube, anything. Yeah, it's on everywhere. So
Newscene's Ariana had a chance to talk to English teacher Peter Kahn about his new book. Let's check it out.
Sure. So got it right here. It's Little Kings. It's about a lot of things, but I would say growing up in New York and Columbus, Ohio, home of the Buckeyes, my family's history, being a social worker in Chicago, being a teacher in London and Chicago and Oak Park, um, relationships, a lot of personal narrative poetry. So when I moved to London in 2001, I became part of this writing collective called Malika's Poetry Kitchen. And we really pushed ourselves to write and try to get individual poems published and such. And I'd go back to London every summer to visit my friends and do some teaching and stuff like that. And one by one, my best friends were getting their books published. And they'd be like, "What's holding you up, Pete? Why aren't you putting your book out there?" And then I got my MFA maybe 4 or 5 years ago, a Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing. And that allowed me to really put a strong manuscript together. And then a couple of years ago, my friend Nick from London introduced me to a woman named Jane Comain at this publishing house in England. And they wanted to take a look at it. And I signed with them, and the rest was history. Now this book came out in June. So the most surprising thing in creating it, um, how I would reconnect with poems that were quite old And, talking it through with the publisher made me think back to when I wrote those poems and then also see how I could make them better in the moment. So I think it was that kind of discovery was surprising to me. We're putting together a 20th anniversary anthology of Spoken Word Club alumni and current students. So that is definitely going to come out, but I'll be an editor for that. In terms of a book of my own writing, wouldn't say never, but this was kind of my thing. I wanted to be a good role model. I wanted to appease my friends in England and get this book in the world. At my virtual book launch, I said, someone asked a similar question. I said, no, this is probably it. And the chat blew up with people saying, no, this is not going to be it. You're going to write another poem. We're not going to let you live that down, et cetera, et cetera. So I won't say for sure I won't write another book on my own poetry, but it's not high on my priority list. I'll put it that way.
Here's an example of one of the many poems found in the Little Kings book.
Hi, my name is Peter Kahn, and I'm going to read a poem from my collection, Little Kings. It's called On First Knowing You're a Teacher. Robert's not coming in, my boss tells me. I'm sitting, sweating in a windowless office, a stack of resumes eyeballing me, stinking up the desk. I'm first screener and sleepy in this stuffy box. Would you be able to lead a workshop on resume writing? I'm 22, and my own resume got me the most boring gig at Jobs for Youth Chicago. Some of the youth I'd be teaching are nearly my age, but there are windows and people in that classroom, so I nearly yell, yes! 30 students look at me, and 45 minutes later look to me, and I'm hooked, and I'm floating and anchored at the same time for the first time, and I'm whole and broken, open, and I'm spinning and stunned still.
I'm a senior, so I'm very happy that we got to have a season. I wasn't expecting to have one. The dual meets that we're having, we're only having like 6 or 7. So in normal season, we usually have more meets. And then, of course, we don't have invites and stuff with other schools. Typical practice, well, we can't have dry lands in the morning anymore, so we have them after school, like today, and we'll split an hour and a half dry land and an hour and a half in the water. And then on the days that we don't have dry lands, we just start in the water, and we'll either do like big, long, like sets, or we'll do like test sets where we, they're shorter and we do them for time and stuff like that.
My name is Ashby, and the season's gonna be weird because we don't really have any meets, but it's really nice to be back in the pool and be able to see my swim friends. We're having a couple small dual meets, but usually we have like big culminative meets at the end of the season, and we're not gonna be able to have those. So we're still doing small meets, but there's no like sectionals or state, which is usually what the whole season leads up to.